have exceeded quorum. And next, I know, I'm so sorry. I have to, of course, confirm with Cindy, who's done the counting. We have more than 48 people.
We have 41 in the room. And how many, we have more than?
We had 26 on Zoom.
Okay, quorum. All right, excellent. So, thank you very much.
Yeah, 23 in the room, sorry. There were, yeah.
Okay, so I will introduce myself because we have so many new members and it's exciting that we do. My name is Ann Calvert. I am the president of the League of Women Voters of Kansas City, Jackson, Clay, and Platte counties for another hour and 10 minutes. So I just, this is a spot where I normally get to say a few words.
What's that?
You guys do it trivia style so that I can't hear you when you have to talk to each other.
Okay.
Thank you. Undistractable. So I do want to say a few words because this is 4 years that I've been president and it's been really tough. It's been a tough 4 years out there in the world. But it's also been incredibly rewarding. And I think that we've accomplished a lot and there's been just an amazing team that pulled together to get all of this done. And I'm really, really grateful. And I'm really, really grateful, but I want to shout out to a couple of people who went above and beyond. One of them's over there distracting me. My brother Jim, who gave amazing advice when I needed it. Learned a ton in the military that he brought to me and to us, who also did Leadership Academy with me, and so that was incredibly helpful. Also my husband, Carl, who's sitting here, who had to get interrupted during his workday at least 50 times a day because we worked next door to each other, and so I would hop up and say, I don't know what to say about this. Can you help me write this email? Can you proofread this presentation? Can I complain about just this one little thing, please? And he was almost always cheerful about it, but definitely always patient. So thank you. Both Jimmy and Carl would say regularly, we all serve the league in our own way. So you guys both serve the league and tremendously. I also have to give a special shout out to Rita Golden, our treasurer, because she was really my mentor for the last 4 years. I initially said yes, that I would be vice president because I had never done anything like this and had never really gotten into the weeds of how league works. I like a whole lot of you joined because I wanted to register people to vote. And that was it. And because I had no choice because it was born into it. Our mom was a league lady. But I didn't have any interest in leadership. I knew that there was a gap, and so I said that I would be vice president, and then they said, well, please be president. And I said, maybe more than once. And I said, okay, but only if you help me, because I don't know how to be president. And she really did just more than help. And so thank you so much, Rita, for being there. Anyway, and thank you, everybody. We've just grown tremendously. I looked up the stats when I became president in 2021 on May 11th or something. We had 67 members. And we probably have more members than I use for quorum because that's the last time I checked with our membership chair. And that was 317 members. And we probably have a few more. So we've grown tremendously. I think it's amazing that people want to get this involved. I think it's the only thing that will save our democracy. And that is all that matters in our country right now. So that's all pep talk I'm gonna give today rather, because we have a whole bunch of work to be done. Which is, of course, how democracy gets saved, right? Boring work. Okay, so we have done the declaration of quorum. We kind of did that in the wrong order. The next thing we need to do is adopt the meeting rules and agenda, and I have the agenda right here for us to take a look at, and you can see I've already goofed it up. And one of the things that it goes along with electing a president who doesn't know what they're doing is that they goof up lots of things. And I'm actually slightly nervous because I've never had this many people at one of these meetings. And I'm feeling a whole lot more pressure to do it correctly. So please call me out if I go in the wrong order or do something wrong. All right, so we need to adopt the annual meeting rules and agenda. So let me skip ahead to the rules. So, and I'll read these. When the chair recognizes in the Zoom room,
Yeah, I was just.
I don't think I have shared with the Zoom room, have I?
No.
Oh, I'm gonna take
They
just
have
one. They have noticed. Have they said perhaps they'd like me to share my screen?
Yes.
Well, aren't they picky? Okay, is the Zoom room happy? Okay, good. My apologies, Zoom room. Okay, so I will read the rules of the annual meeting. When the chair recognizes a member, the speaker will give his or her name unless the chair already has identified the speaker by name. Each speaker, when recognized, will be limited to 3 minutes of comments. Any member wishing to speak may do so before anyone may speak a second time on the same subject unless there is a point of clarification. Motions relating to program items shall be made verbally and in writing. Anyone proposing a non-recommended item for study must submit to the chair in writing a plan for implementing the study and specify the member who is committed to chairing the study committee, in case the leader is someone other than the person proposing the study. Items relating to the program shall be discussed in the same order in which they were presented to the members of the meeting. And direction to the board from the members shall be given verbally and, if complex or lengthy, both verbally and in writing to the secretary. Okay, this is the most formal we are for the new people at these meetings. And we are a little bit less formal than they are at convention. Which is kind of fun, I have to tell you, if you ever get a chance to go to a national convention, it's kind of fun. It's all very serious. All right, so. Uh-oh. My thing's not working now. Okay. Okay, let's skip the slide.
I motion
But, yeah.
that our group.
Sorry, let me, hang on one second. So we have I'm calling for a motion.
I'm Barb Calvert, and I motion that our group accepts the agenda, rules, and regulations today as presented.
Yep, is there a second?
I'm Elizabeth Dar, I second it.
Okay. Is there any discussion or are there any questions? Okay, there being none, all those in favor, please raise your hand. Okay. All those, that's okay. All those opposed? Please, I'll give the Zoom room a moment to lower their hands. All those opposed, raise your hand. Okay, that motion passes and we have adopted the annual minute rules and agenda. Okay, the next item on our agenda is and I'm sorry, I can't go back. Oh, I can, okay. All right, the next item on our agenda is the appointment of the minutes approval committee. So last year, we appointed the executive board, which consists of the president, the vice presidents, the secretary, and the treasurer to approve the minutes. And so what that means is that after this meeting is over and the minutes are produced, that committee of 5 will take a look at them while it's all fresh in our minds. And we'll make any changes or corrections to those minutes. And then that committee will approve those minutes. And then next year in May or April or May or June or whenever you have the annual meeting next year, the entire membership will approve those minutes that have already been approved by the smaller group. So, I don't believe this needs a vote. So unless there is any dissension.
Just a point of clarification.
Sure.
The current executive board is, as you said, about to change in an hour. Which executive board approves these minutes?
Thank you. Thank you for that. Yeah, just to clarify, it will be the new executive committee that approves these minutes. Okay, next item. Oh, question?
I said great question, I apologize.
Oh, that's okay.
You don't need to apologize.
I am gonna make this the toughest meeting.
Yeah, but we'll probably throw a joke in there or something. All right, the next item on the agenda is the introduction of the parliamentarian. Our parliamentarian today is Joyce Villeneuve. And I neglected to introduce you to our backup parliamentarian who's sitting literally in the back, who is Evelyn Maddox. So Joyce, if there's anything that you have a question about, you feel free to run back there and ask Evelyn. Okay, then the next item on our agenda is the approval of minutes of the annual meeting. There we go. From May 2023. So those went out to everyone 2 weeks ago in the fall. I hope you had a chance to take a look at them.
24.
Point of clarification, May 2024.
Oh, whoops, thank you. Yeah, okay. Sorry, typo, we missed one we missed, sorry. Weird, because it's right online, but I just missed it. Okay, so yes, this would be 2024, the approval of the minutes of the annual meeting of April 2024. So is there a motion? Why you guys left the big aisle?
My name is Cynthia McCardle, and I'm moving for approval of the minutes of the meeting of May 2024.
Yes, actually April 2020.
Oh,
That's-
April
Yeah.
2020.
100%. Is there a second?
I second that.
Okay, is there any discussion or are there any questions? Points of clarification or corrections? They did a good job of combing through those minutes. Okay, there being none, all those in favor, please raise your hand. Okay, please lower your hands.
What's that? Yeah.
Okay, those opposed, please raise your hand. Okay, that motion passes. Thank you. Okay, why do you not? Okay. Our next item of business is the local program. And local program is not quite a strategic plan, it's kind of an action plan. Program is a word that the League of Women Voters uses up and down the organization. I think it's a little confusing because I think when I think of a program, and if I'm headed to the library to see a program, it's somebody who's giving a talk. And so I find this a little bit confusing. But program is actually our plan of action. How are we going to use our resources, both financial and volunteer, to advance our mission, to accomplish our goals? So this program, the process was that many of you came together in small group meetings, and those small group meetings were moderated by leaders of the league. And we took your input, and your ideas, and put them all in a big document, and then the board and the committee chairs came together, 2 Saturdays, spent probably 8 hours together to really discuss these and dive in. And so this is what we have come up with. I know it looks like, well, it's only a list like 4 things on it. How did you spend 2 days, 8 hours on 4 things? There's a whole bunch of work behind this, and there's a whole bunch of, in the weeds, sort of, we're gonna do this, and we're gonna do that, and here's how we're gonna do that. And there's some documents, and we're happy to share those with you if you're interested. But it boiled down to this. So, number 1 is that the League of Women Voters Kansas City shall focus its resources to engage in the efforts listed below. We will increase trust in democracy, increase voter turnout, protect voting rights, increase adults' voter knowledge and student education, increase collaboration with other organizations. Second part of the program is that the fiscal year 2025-2026 budget, as presented shortly, is recommended as part of the program by the board. We did not recommend any bylaw changes, though, well, heads up, I think there's gonna be a lot of recommended bylaw changes next year. And we also didn't have any recommended studies. We have had some studies that we just completed recently, and there were in a small group planning, we did have some suggestions for some things that we should study, but we didn't have the crucial factor, which is someone to take the lead and someone to do the hard work of really pulling a group together to do that study. So we have a record of what those ideas were, and perhaps next year, there'll be the capacity to actually take on one of those studies, but we don't have any recommended studies. So that is the recommended program. Is there a motion on the board? Okay. I mean, is there a motion? I did put this one down, right? Thank you. Is there a second?
Stop. I second.
Okay, so that has been moved and seconded. Is there?
Recording in progress.
Is there are there any questions, and is there any discussion? I thought you might have some questions or discussion about that. Anything from
Cindy
Jen?
had her hand up, but she put it down.
Okay.
You're just jumping the gun.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't say that.
Simply with Carl, not really discussion, but comment. I think that like action program actually is very timely and on point. And so I was excited about that. And I'm curious about the budget just because this what we have.
Oh, okay. And actually, we're going to order. We need to talk about it first.
No, it's number 10 after.
No,
Read
I
this
just
one
have to
first.
move it up though. I mean, you're right. All right, there we go. So, okay, good. It wouldn't be an and meeting if I didn't hear something else. Absolutely, absolutely. We can also jump ahead during this question part and talk about budget. Why don't we do that? Okay. I feel some sense of relief that I goofed and it wasn't that major. Okay, let me go backwards. And just let you take another look at the budget, at the program, while Rita comes up, and then Rita's gonna talk about the budget in just a second. Which is us skipping, and probably we're supposed to. Probably we're supposed to have a motion for those, but.
So we're not gonna vote on this just yet?
We're gonna look at the budget first.
We're pausing the vote.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Come back. Uh-oh. Let me hold that. Unplug accidentally, did we? Well, shoot.
It was when Rita sat down on the laptop. Yeah, so maybe just pick up your laptop and see what happens. Does this cord get plugged in? No.
Uh-uh.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, no, I just did
There.
that, yeah.
There we
All
go.
right, we got it. Thank you.
Very, very tall.
Yeah.
Okay.
Careful what you where you stand.
Okay, so I just pulled together,
Oh, sure.
sure. Oh, I think it's up here. Yeah, you're right there now.
Oh, I wasn't sharing at all.
No, you had taken it down.
Now you.
No, it's fine.
There we go.
It'll be fine. Yep, did I not?
Yeah, no, you didn't. Did you share it?
Okay, what do they see?
Now.
I'm good?
Restart the slideshow.
Gotcha. There we go.
Okay. All right. Budgets, everybody's favorite topic. So I'm Rita Golden. I'm your treasurer. I've been treasurer for a number of years now. This, I have to say, is the largest budget that I've ever presented to the league for a vote. I want to congratulate everybody for all the support, especially financial support that has been provided to this league over the last couple of years. It's made this budget possible. It's made our growth feasible, and it is going to allow us to do some very interesting things this year. So the income as of March 31st for this fiscal year, which started on July 1st, is $62,993, which is much more than we've raised. Congratulations to you all. Our expenses are $93,654 so far this year. I'm 23,000, sorry. 93. No. And so our net income for the year so far is almost $40,000. Okay. So our balance sheet, so that's a picture of our expenses for this fiscal year, which again starts July 1st and goes to June 30th. But if you want to know how much money we have, we need to go to the balance sheet, which gives you a picture of how much money we have total. And right now in our accounts, we have cash of almost $73,000, investments of almost $70,000, liabilities, which is still the membership fees that we still owe out to LWVUS and LWVMO, and we will get their bills not until August. So that's, whoops, sitting there. We lost that again.
It's a planetary alignment thing. It'll go.
It'll go away. I didn't memorize all these numbers, sorry.
That's all right. No, I'm sorry that we're having some technical difficulties. Right.
You have to.
All right, me, not end. Take that out. Get out of there. Sorry.
Just before I give you all the good news. What can I tell you?
You also explain that our income includes a one-time major donation. Just so people know that we don't
Yes.
always see that.
Yes, yes.
You guys seeing the right thing?
Well, we haven't seen it in the past. I am always an optimist, Elizabeth. Which means that we have equity of almost $130,000. Now, in this year, we did get one major grant, or, well, it was an open-ended grant, an unrestricted grant, which is does not happen very often. And that was from the Health Forward Foundation. And we also got a $10,000 donation, which, try as I might, the institute that forwarded the money would not tell me who that money came from. So that will remain unknown. But we also got that as a deposit. So we did get two unexpected large donations. But even with that, this year we have done above and beyond what we have ever done. So congratulations to you all. Okay, how do I forward this? 'Cause I mess it up. Okay. Can I hit this link? So this is our draft budget for, okay, let me see.
You need to blow it up.
Yeah, please. Okay. Okay. So this is our budget. So you have three columns here. The first one is going to be our budget that you're voting in. And the second one is what the detail of what we just went through. No, I'm sorry. The second one is our budget for this year. The third one is what we just went through, which is our income and expenses as of March 31st, only with much more detail. So you can see where the money came in and you can see, nope. Okay, how do I scroll down on this? Sorry. Whew, it's okay. 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 I think, okay. Why is it not doing it for me?
Cause it doesn't like you.
It doesn't. It doesn't recognize my fingerprint. Okay, so the big expense here, okay, that's good. So there are two things that I want to point out on this budget, and then I'll open the floor for questions. Because I'm not going to go through it in detail. We've added an expense for an employee, for a part-time employee of $30,000. We hope to have that person in place by August, but maybe not until September. We'll see how that goes. That's on the expense side. So that's clearly a large expense. The other on the income side is that we will, in order to balance this budget, because I cannot present a budget for approval if it's not balanced. We lost it again. It'll come back. So I've been told, is that we are pulling from our reserves in order to meet our income. Okay, there we go. And
Just have
it
to
just
click on it.
does not like me.
We got plus the $210 for the rent. If we have a part-time employee, why only $210 for the rent?
Okay.
For grant,
So the question from Evelyn was, why is there a $210 line item for rent?
Which was under expense.
the rent is for our storage unit. So everybody is not keeping pieces of the league in their homes anymore and transferring them and not knowing where they all are. We have rented a storage unit and that's what that cost is for. Yes,
Yeah, repeat the question if you would.
yes, Evelyn asked. Okay, so right now, the basis for,
So the question was, will the part-time person work from home and how many hours will that person work?
right now, our plan is for the person to work 20 hours a week and to work from home and to work on our technology and our hardware.
I know this is really interesting stuff, but I think this is a little bit in the weeds. The best thing that we know is that we've allocated money for a part-time employee, and there will be a committee formed to determine these specifics. And if you're interested, there's an opportunity to serve on the committee. You can answer all those questions.
Thank you, Janelle. Okay, any other questions on the budget? Any from the Zoom room? No. Woohoo, all right.
We got one.
What, Peg?
Can you go back up to the income?
I can try. Oh, two fingers. Okay, okay.
What we had to do with the member donations. So we're expecting the same amount of donations from last year carried over to this year. Is that correct?
I need,
Oh, no, that
And-
$80,000 is the budget.
So we're expecting to do that.
so I left, even though we collected, what Peg is asking about are member donations. And there are a couple reasons that I left it at the $8,000 mark. Even though we have so far, and we've probably gone over $20,000 this year in income from member donations. The reason I did that is, one, it's not a major election year. So that's the first one. The second one is that LWVUS has revised the way they collect members' fees. And that transition has confused a lot of people because most of our member donations are done when somebody pays their yearly fee, their yearly membership fee. And so because of this whole transition, a number of people are somewhat confused about whether to donate at that time, to donate separately, or when to donate. Hopefully, once it's still in transition, it's still being worked on from LWVUS. Once it is finally done and everybody understands how this works, I'm hoping to send out something to our membership to clarify what happens when you donate and you pay your membership fee together. But right now it's a little bit confusing. So I didn't want to count on a larger number. So I left it at that. If we get a larger number, that's great. We just take less out of unrestricted.
And the other question, Rita, has to do with the events.
Mhm.
What events allow us to budget that kind of money?
So the second question that Peg asked was about events and what events allow us to budget that kind of money.
So that's from our event, Peace, Love, and Vote event in September. Last year, as you can see on our profit and loss, we brought in over $9,000, or just about, yeah, over $9,000. So I'm hoping to bring in $1,000 more from that event in September. That's a total, so this is income. Remember, the expenses for that event are down below. So net, that's not what we made, but that is what we brought in. So hopefully that's what we'll do even better this year.
And we also have another event in the planning stages, which is a book release party for the book called Be Like Mary, which was written by George Harris, about Mary Lindsay. George was Mary's husband, and Mary Lindsay was, of course, a leader in the organization who passed away about a year and a half ago. So we'll have an event for that too, and we'll talk about that later. It's just in the beginning.
What kind of event was that September that was so productive?
Bigger than
question.
It was really fun.
It was a Peace Love Vote, which was a trivia night at, the
Firehouse.
Firehouse, which is a venue on Troost. And it was, very nearly, I would consider it sold out. We had room to oversell a tiny bit and we didn't. So Rita might consider it not sold out, but I considered it sold out. And we're doing it again this September. We do it during voter registration week so that we get a little bit of extra publicity because we generally get some press about voter registration week. So definitely look for it. It's got a little bit of a hippie vibe. Actually, my name tag is from the Peace Love Vote event. So.
And you
So
can
mark
buy
your
the
calendars.
swag. Swag is available on Redbubble.
Yes, yes, definitely. Okay, any other questions? No. Okay, then,
Okay,
Fine.
then we're gonna again go out of order a little bit because I'm gonna skip to number 10, the approval of the 2026 fiscal year budget. Do I have a motion? So you want to? Glad you guys remember who the ringers are.
My name is Sandy Heath, and I'd like to move for the acceptance of the 2025. 2026 budget.
Okay, is there a second? Okay, Denise Culver seconds it. All right, any additional discussion or questions? Okay, there being none, and by the way, thank you very much, Rita, for that presentation and for putting it all together. I don't know how you do that. I don't know how you do that. All right, so those in favor of approval of the 2026 fiscal year budget, please raise your hands. Okay, you can put your hands down, please. And those opposed, please raise your hand. Okay, that motion passes. Oops. Let's see if we can get, oh no, that is not what I want to do. Oh, because we went to gotcha. Okay, so let's go back to the local program because we now that we've approved the budget, we know what that looks like. We need to approve the entire program. So, somebody have a motion? I think there's a motion. Is there a motion on the floor, Lee? Oh, yeah. Thank you very much. All right, so it's been moved and seconded that we approve the board of directors recommended program for 2025, 2026. Is there any discussion or are there any questions?
I'm sorry, Ann.
Oh, don't be, I love it, Peg, I love it. I think you got it, I'm not hungry that much yet.
It has to do with the, the non-recommended.
Yeah.
Studies.
Yeah.
Were there any suggested studies and what were they, just so to give us a thought about what was there?
So there were not suggested studies. What we heard in the small group discussions were ideas for studies. And good ideas about, and I don't recall off the top of my head what the specifics were. If somebody was in one of those discussions, you might be able to remind me. But they were,
I know we talked about like civic education and.
yeah, they had, a lot of them had to do with education, yes. And there was a lot of talk about how to reach youth and that maybe we need to figure out, do some studies to figure out the best way to reach youth, if I'm recalling correctly. But I wouldn't say that it was crafted enough to even be a suggestion for a study. And there definitely were no studies, I mean, there was nothing brought to the board that the board rejected. But there were some good ideas that I hope a member or several members will take and run with eventually. Any other questions?
One more.
But we still have the Zoom room.
Oh, yes.
This is actually for the room, right? This is for the Zoom room.
I can see, so this is all about knowledge and civic education. We're talking about, educating different voters, or we're talking about high school, but we have done both. That's not.
We were not as specific, but I will tell you, in the conversation, there was a lot of talk about high schools, going into high schools, and this is not, the discussion was not going into high schools to register voters, but going into high schools to fill the gap in civic education. So to teach students about how our government works and how they can interact with our government. Those are good questions. Any questions from the Zoom room? Okay. I love this. Okay, so there being no other questions or discussion, we will take a vote. We're gonna have to get our own board. When, by the way, we have a team in place, we had 3 volunteers who are, we're gonna get trained and buy new equipment. And so, we will not have a meeting in June, but we will have one in July, I think, although the July one's probably not Zoom because I think it'll be a work meeting. But by August, we'll have a team in place and we'll have new equipment, so we hope we won't have to deal with this. And the new equipment will involve chorus as well. Okay. So those in favor of adopting the program for 2025-2026, please raise your hands. Okay, thank you. And those opposed? Okay, we have none. There being that passes. There's no opposed. Okay. That was a lot of, I'm actually not surprised there's not that much discussion because there was a lot of work to get here. From all of you, so thank you, from many of you, so thank you. Okay, next we have nominating committee. So Elizabeth, would you like to? Yeah, I didn't tell you you had anything. I mean, there's no real report, so, okay, so the nominating committee was Elizabeth Darr, Joyce Villeneuve, and Rita Goulden, all 3 of whom are in the room, so let's give them a. I think nominating committee is really hard, really hard, so thank you for serving. So the nominees for president, vice president, secretary, and the board of directors are, and if you're here, I'm going to ask you to stand. If you're not here, actually, if one of you, it doesn't mind like popping up, and can you get the Zoom room? Can you like
highlight the person?
highlight the person?
Yeah, I can do that.
Oh, you can't? That'll show up on the.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
She's a host.
Okay, yeah. Do I need to stop sharing though, for you to do that?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so we're gonna look at the Zoom. Oop, that was the opposite of what I wanted to do. Okay, all right, we've got some people nominees on Zoom. Oh, although now I don't have my sheet to look at. I didn't print that one, so, all right, we'll start with president. I think I have it all memorized, so, our nominee for president is Melanie Bussey. Melanie. Our nominee for secretary is Alice Gowinski. And then we have 4 nominees for the board. Oh, vice president, I'm so sorry.
It's
And then,
okay.
right. Keep jumping over vice president. And nominee for vice president is Janelle Shuey. And then we have 4 nominees, yeah, and I just said, she's an incumbent, so we get so focused on the new people that. Anyway, the first nominee for the board is, like, and I think I'm going in alphabetical order, is Cindy Augustine. I was about to not go in alphabetical order. It's Cindy Augustine, who I believe was in the Zoom room.
Yeah, she's at the
Lower
corner.
left. She could be. She might still be at a soccer game right now, so.
Baseball.
Forgive her for not waving, but this is her picture.
It's baseball, yeah.
Baseball, sorry, sports. Our second nominee is Brandy Blackburn. Okay, our third nominee is Elizabeth Franklin. I don't see her on our Zoom.
Haven't recorded her yet.
Okay, so our third nominee is Elizabeth Franklin. She actually lives far away, and she's been very active with legislative action and some other committees. And then our fourth nominee is Joe Holt, who I think I saw come in there. She was. And.
No, you did.
I did. That's what I forgot to do.
Anitra Steele, I move that we accept the candidates nominated by the nominating committee.
Doesn't there need to be at least an offer of nominations from the board?
Oh, there does. Thank you very much. Yes, thank you.
We could vote down.
Yes, I forgot. Are there any nominations from the floor? The answer is always no, that's why I forget. Okay, but we have to do it, so we have to do it.
No.
So, thank you. All right, there being none, we go back to Anitra's, which you already,
Yes,
oh, this me redo it.
I move we accept, we elect the slate as nominated.
Okay, is there a second?
We have a second from the Zoom room.
Okay. Second.
Cheryl Barnes.
Cheryl Barnes seconds that. Okay, all those in favor, please raise your hand. Discussion. Oh. Sorry.
Oops.
Is there any discussion or are there any questions?
We'll drag it out so Ann has to stay on.
Right, this is like the last thing I have to do. There being none, all those in favor? Yeah, those opposed? Are gonna get a very sternly written letter. Okay, there being none, that motion, the nominees are elected. And I am actually literally gonna hand over the gavel. Yes, ma'am.
Specify that the nominating committee and chair and 2 members are to be elected at the annual meeting to serve until the next annual meeting. Do we have a slate?
That is-
And 2 members for nominating.
That is true. Did I remember that we put together a slate?
Oh.
That is 100% true, and thank you for making everybody aware of it. However, 2 members of the existing committee have agreed to serve on the committee for next year, and I agreed unofficially that at some later date, the board would appoint a 3rd member.
That would be the chair, the 3rd member would serve, because we are elected the chair.
The chair will continue, that's me,
Oh, well.
and Joyce Vilnay will continue. And Rita's whereabouts are unknown.
She's
There will
in
be
the
a
back
third
row.
member, but this is something that doesn't actually need to be dealt with until sometime next winter.
Well, why can't we just move, why can't I move to elect the current, committee to serve another term?
That's an excellent idea.
And you can resign.
Give me that. Yeah, you just resign.
Nomination and election of the current nomination chair and committee members who serve in the next time. And as I said, they can resign.
Okay. Is there a second?
I'll set it down.
Thank you. Cindy Cart seconds that. Is there any discussion or are there any questions? Okay, there being none, all those in favor, raise your hands, please.
Okay.
Okay, you can put your hands down. All those opposed, please raise your hand. Okay, thank you, Evelyn, for that quick solution. The bylaw changes that might happen next year have, some of them have to do with the nominating process, so we might have been sort of skating, but I don't know. All right, so our new president, oh, I might not have been the one to do that, actually, but our new president has been duly elected. I'm going to do ceremoniously, ceremonious,
Joyfully.
joyfully.
Reluctantly.
But temporarily, hand you the gavel, because this was my mom's gavel, so.
Thank you.
Yeah. Welcome.
Well, thank you, Anne. I'm kind of nervous about taking over for Anne. Anne is the only president of the league that I have known, so I have some big, steps to fill. But she has agreed that she's gonna be around to help me, which I will need a lot of help. I've only been a member of the league for 4 years, so I have a lot to learn. I have a lot of people here that I don't recognize, so I hope I get to know you, in the weeks and months to come. I hope also that you all remember that we're all volunteers and that you give us some grace and knowing that I will not have all of the answers right off the bat. I won't even have answers all the time after being in this position for a while. But anyway, thank you, and thank you for trusting me with this position. The next order of business is directions from the membership to the board of directors. So does anybody have any directions that they want to give the board? I will take my way back.
It's not a direction other than, please tell us what may be stored in whatever storage you have. For instance, we past presidents put our archival material there.
Evelyn Maddox had a question about the storage unit. Right now, I know that there are a lot of voting registration items. I would think, Evelyn, if other people have it, just notify us and we can make sure that we can get things delivered to the storage unit.
Can answer that, maybe I'll. There you go. Yes, please bring your stuff. Yeah, we want your stuff. And we do have archives and it's extremely well organized. Thank you, Kelly and Karine, for organizing it. And it's all down on paper too, so if anybody needs to use something, there's a map and it's all indexed and you'll be amazed. So, yep, bring your stuff.
Any other suggestions?
Sure.
Okay, got Janelle first.
I have a suggestion that we, as a board, look to be more grant seeking this year. And hope to get some funding sources outside of primarily relying on membership. I have one other suggestion, is that, we officially recognize Anne for all the work she's put into organizing and putting structures in place. I believe every president has done a lot of work toward the area that they have strengths, but Anne's strengths is definitely in organizational structure, and we appreciate that.
First of all, you might just set a storage unit day, because I still have the forms suitcase. Anybody need 244 golf pencils? Let them know.
Board of Elections
But-
might.
I think the direction I like to say is to go work hard on the 5 items in our program. Because we've already said what we want to proceed with, and use those to decide what we want to do this year.
You got some from the Zoom room. Wait,
I'm gonna get Pat and then I'll come back to the chat room, since I'm halfway here.
I just wanted to, it looks like 4 people will be leaving the board, Ann, Cindy, Stacy, and Anitra. And I just wanted to thank them all for the wonderful work they've done.
Okay, we had somebody in the chat room.
We have 2 questions in the chat, or 2 things in the chat. First from Cheryl Euthinger, what goes to archives and what goes to storage? I think we just want some clarification on what's what.
We have both archived materials and materials to store in the storage unit. I'm also gonna add, we've also been scanning some of our historical documents so that they're available online too. We have them collected in Google, so that we have electronic versions. Thank you to Alice Bowinsky, who's just scanned stack after stack of documents. So that's cool too.
The president's job is never done.
Is there another question?
Yeah. From Riva Capillari, it would be nice to know at the end of each year who did what, i.e. those who worked on the archives, et cetera, to give them some credit, and also to see what our league has done.
Great suggestions. So it sounds like storage, the storage unit and what goes in it is gonna be a major thing that we'll be dealing with here shortly. Any other directions?
Sorry.
I'm an LGBTQ ally, and I'd like to suggest that we try to reach out in pride parades and other events to see if they will come on board.
Duly noted. We've got a lot of things that we know are gonna be in the works coming up. As Ann mentioned early, there's a lot of work that we're gonna be involved in. So we will definitely make that a part of it.
Like to segue from that, and I think that, joining or connecting with other groups is gonna be really important. Also the one thing, and I've been in the league maybe 4 years, I've never come to a meeting before. This is my first meeting. Why did I come today? Here, why did I come? Because I really applaud the league for saying that we are in a constitutional crisis. The press is skirting that issue, saying, are we in a constitutional crisis? Well, I think everybody knows that we are. And one of the things that I just read is that groups have to join together to confront that crisis. Thank you.
And I will be up front. And when we started our programming meetings, we spent probably the first hour and a half, 2 hours of that meeting just discussing the importance of the league and our role in what's happening in the world. So, that conversation will be continuing.
I just have one comment, Timothy. So I think like we bring our full interests and selves as volunteers to the league and thank you for coming and speaking up about that. So like when you have an interest, take the lead, and this goes for everybody, take the lead to initiate something, because we don't know what we don't know sometimes.
Okay.
And then volunteers come. I mean, when you organize something, we show up. So, yeah.
Anything else? Thank you so much. Kind of have lost some of this along the way, but one thing on our list was announcements and closing remarks. And I did want to take the time, and just in case you didn't hear it the first time, the board members who have served their terms that were going off are Anitra Steele. And Anitra, why don't you stand? Listen to you. Stacey in the Zoom room, and Cindy Cart. The board members that are returning or remaining are Rita Golden, our treasurer. Judy Ann Goldman, our vice president of communications, she's in the Zoom room. Denise Comer, Denise back there. Elizabeth Saw, here. And Laura Marcus Mountjoy, who's celebrating her birthday in New York City, and Greg Woodhams. I don't think Greg's there today. So at this time, I do have a special thank you for Cindy Cart. Cindy, if you can come up. Cindy has been our secretary for 4 years, and we have been appreciative of all of the work that she has done for the 4 years. So we just got a little extra something for you that we want to present you, and is it right?
It is.
Oh, what? I'm kidding. I couldn't arrange that, but I know. But we've got just a plan for you, just for you. Thank you for your.
Thank you.
I'll try to keep it along.
Wonderful to work with you.
Because I'm going to turn this over for Rita for a final presentation.
So in the beginning of this meeting, Ann started off and she almost couldn't get through what she wanted to say. She doesn't have to say anything this time, so she can just sit here and cry, because we all know that she's a crier. And I just want to also honor Ann for the 4 years that she has been our president. She mentioned that I had mentored her. I got as much out of being her friend and working with Ann over the last 4 years as she did with me. So I admire your growth. I admire your dedication, and I certainly admire your ability to work with everyone. It is one of the most important points of leadership. So congratulations, and we have something for you also. And it will also bloom purple for your garden, but it is a lilac. So thank you very much. For all your
Wow, thank you so much. Oh, thank you. It is, I really appreciate that. And yes, you do know me. And both the gardening side and the crying side. So thank you very much. It has just been my honor. I'm just gonna say it's just been my honor. It's been one of the most rewarding things I've ever done, and I teach little kids how to play the violin, so there's some competition there for rewarding. So thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Well, if there's really no other business before this meeting, I'll take a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Can I ask you one question? Is the new editor of the e-voter here?
She's online.
She's online. Can we highlight her because we're going to be communicating with her, but ultimately don't know how they look.
And she doesn't have her picture up. She's kind of a sniffly mess today. So.
Thank you for that information.
Her name is Laura Gowan, so
Yeah.
at least we can give you. her
And,
name.
She was on.
she was on, I worked with her, in the transition. Sorry. I worked with Laura in the transition and, she is a very impressive young lady, that I think will do a great job. And you may have noticed in the last e-voter that came out, she has allotted a corner to me to continue to write, which was the part of the job that I enjoyed the most. And so I will continue to offer some words myself. But Laura, the times that we were working together and I would show her how to do things, and she's like, okay, well, there's a much better way to do that. Almost never. And I mean, she will be much more efficient at providing you service than I was. And I really look forward to it. And plus we went to a whole new platform and everything. So it should just be a much better product overall. And she is, I appreciate that, but Laura is, I think is just, you're gonna be amazed 6 months from now, you're not gonna remember who I am.
Anything else? Anybody have a motion to adjourn the meeting? Oh, Kelly?
I was at the storage unit last night, returning some stuff, and I took some pictures, so if anyone wants to look on my phone, I've got pictures of the storage unit.
Well, you just want to tell people where the storage unit is, so it's not on this.
It's like 73rd and Walnut, right?
In Walnut.
In Waldo, yeah, and it's a very nice facility, it's not what I was expecting, I didn't know they made it like this, but it's buildings go through a coded COD, a door with a code, to get in, so that's secure. We take an elevator to the second floor, and it's a very close, space, and it's got a combination lock on it that you can open. And also conveniently, right by ours is water fountain and restroom, that's really nice. And, you unlock our door and do our thing and close it, and it's interior, it's open till 10 p.m. We were there at like 9 o'clock last night, but it still felt safe, it's lit up, and, it's nice, it's climate controlled, so, we spent, Ann and Corrine and I spent hours organizing stuff, you know, safely inside in a climate controlled environment, so it's very comfortable.
And kind of in line with that, I will tell you that Ann and I are meeting in a couple of days. So right now, if you email the president, you're still going to be emailing Ann, which is fine.
No, it's not.
We're exchanging all of that, and we'll get it all taken care of. But anything else? Do I have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
Yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't plant a ringer for that. I move that we adjourn the meeting.
I second the motion.
Any discussion? All those in
Oh,
favor?
wait, I have one bit of discussion. We're going to lunch at Taqueria. Oh, is that on your thing?
No, go ahead.
Well, at Taqueria Mexico 2, which is just right around, you have to go under the truck eating bridge, and it's just right over there. So please come and join us. I'll be there.
With that, any other discussion? All those in favor, please raise your hand.
Oh, you don't get to vote, Melanie.
Oh,
You don't get to vote anymore. I do.
All those opposed? Okay, with that, The meeting is adjourned. Thank you.
Great.
Oh, God. Oh, I don't know about that. Thank you. Enjoy that plan. Now you can have.
Oh, I love it.
Have another happy hour and get that good.
Yeah.
No, it's beautiful.
And mic drop.